Hello, this is Amy from So Simple of Lynchburg, Virginia, and I'm here to give you a quick video review of the new Janome Skyline S5. This is a great new model of machine. It looks a little different than most of our other Janomes. Whole new design. It is a fully featured machine with a lot of great features at still a mid-range machine price. It is bigger than your average sewing machine. It has 8.5 inches from the needle to the base of the machine. Has a nice great big bed here for working on your projects. So a little more room than your average machine. Great for free motion quilting. It has free arm. That back on. Has onboard storage of your feet and tools. I don't have them set in there yet, but that's where they can go. It has 170 decorative stitch patterns. It includes 3 full alphabets and 4 full alphabets? Depends on what language you're in. Anyway, several alphabets, full line of numbers, great for making your own quilt labels, lots of decorative stitches. It has 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 9 or 10 different buttonholes. It has a lot of decorative stitches. It is very easy to choose those stitches. You select the mode. Up here it shows you what mode your stitches are going to be in. I am going to choose mode 2. Here's the 2. It chose stitch 1 right away because that's the default when you first go to the mode 2. And let's choose a stitch. This is a fancy decorative stitch. 43 right here. And you see it shows you what the stitch looks like in its little pixelated form. It shows the standard width of that stitch, and right here is where you adjust your width, plus or minus. It won't go up because this has a full 9mm wide decorative stitches. It is at the maximum width here. We can make it narrower if we want. I'm going to put it back up to the full. It has the default length here, and you can adjust that up or down right here. So very logically laid out. You can pan through stitches here. We've got an elongation button if you want to make a stitch longer. That's great for satin stitches. Double needle button so that you can tell the machine you've got a double needle on there. So if you put in a wide decorative stitch, it will not let you stitch it out. You don't want to break one of those needles. Got a couple of settings buttons here, a lockout feature so that you can lock out your machine if you need to go check on your toddler, and with the safety of knowing that it's locked and that your preschooler's not going to come along and press on that foot pedal. Got a mirror image function here. If you've got a buttonhole or a blanket stitch you want to use and it's facing the wrong way for your project, you can just press that button and it will flip the stitch around. A couple other ways you can adjust. You've got quick stitch selector buttons here for 2 forms of straight stitch, a zigzag, and a buttonhole. It has speed control slider, and I'm going to show you that by sewing as slow as it will go. And there's as slow as it will go, so you have nice great control. This is with the foot pedal all the way to the bottom. It is stitching out that decorative stitch right now. And of course we don't want it to take all year to stitch this out, so we can speed it right up. And there it is at full stitching speed. Still very quiet, very still, and just stitching those stitches out for that decorative stitch. I'm going to hit the not tying button, and when I do that it will stop at the end of that stitch repeat. You can see that there, and I'm going to show you, you can tie it off in a straight stitch. If you hit that, it will tie it off. Right now it's just going to do one repeat of that decorative stitch. it stops, and then I can hit the thread cutting button and it will automatically cut the thread. I can lift the presser foot with my knee lifter and pull it away, and it is stitched and cut. I'm going to put it back up here and put it on a straight stitch. That will be mode 1. Stitch 1. It's already set up in the middle. 4.5 is the middle. The length is fine for this. And again, I can start stitching, and when I want to stop, I can press this knot and it will stitch in place a couple of times to secure the threads. Again, I can cut the threads with the thread cutting button, and it is cut. This machine has pretty simple thread path. Start up here at the thread spool, goes around here, and make it so you can see it, around here, down, around, back up, around the take-up lever, down through a couple of guides to the needle. Very straightforward. It has needle threader, which is wonderful. And also up here, you can see this is the presser foot pressure knob, where you can adjust how firmly the presser foot pushes on your fabric. It also has automatic thread tension, and these Janomes do an excellent job of staying in tension on the automatic tensioner. You can also adjust it manually if that's your desire, if you're doing some unusual thread combinations. It has a great bobbin winding system right here. Wrap your thread around your bobbin. Use this little cutter here to cut your thread so you don't have, you pull the thread up when you're winding it. You don't have to do that with this. It cuts it. Slide it over and it's ready to do a bobbin. Nice and quiet. When you're done, cut the thread here. You don't have to fiddle with the knob here on older machines. Sometimes you had to pull that out to do a bobbin. With these Janomes, you do not. One thing that's great about this new Skyline S5 is that you can use cone threads in it without a large cone thread holder. Just put it up here. And of course, it's going to wiggle around on that horizontal spool pin, just like all the other machines. But the Skyline comes with this little tiny spool holder. I suppose it would be a cone holder. It goes right here on the end. Slides right down into your cone of thread. And then you just thread it as normal. That way you can use all these wonderful cone threads easily on this type of machine. No video review that I would do of a machine is complete until we do a little free motion on it. And the Janome S5 comes with a closed toe hopping type foot. And I'm going to try to free motion one hand. Job of free motion. Still pretty quiet. And it is a high shank machine, so if you wanted to get the convertible free motion foot set from Janome for this machine, you would get the version that's for a high shank machine. And I'll show you again, the thread I'm using is a cone. It's a mini cone. Now the great big giant 5,000 meter or 5,000 yard spools will not fit in here, but your 1,000 meter or 1,000 yard mini cones will fit, like your isocord, a lot of embroidery threads, your Aurifil, anything like that with this little cap on it can be used in the top of the machine on the horizontal spool pin. And also another thing is this machine is capable, let's see if you can see it way down here, see that little hole? We've got this machine sitting in a horn sewing machine cabinet, so it's kind of hard to show it to you. And that is for an optional thread cutting pedal. You can attach that there to your machine, and then instead of using your thread cutting button, you can cut your threads with the push of a foot pedal. Frees up your hands for quicker work. Let's see, what else should I go over? Overall, I think it's a great machine if you are really getting into your sewing and quilting and you want some features that just makes it much more enjoyable to sew. This might be the machine for you. More room for your projects, great for free motion quilting, still has a great price for all these features. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at So Simple of Lynchburg. That's Lynchburg, Virginia. My name is Amy, and I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.